Hello, in this video I'm gonna show you how to set up your iPhone 16 Pro Max for people with low vision. If you have vision problems, go to Settings, then Accessibility, and on the top are vision settings. The first one is VoiceOver. When you enable it, it will read the elements that are shown on screen. So for example, when I enable VoiceOver,
Start VoiceOver tutorial button. Use VoiceOver. Don't allow button.
it will read
Back button.
all of the screen contents, and to navigate through it, you need to swipe left and right.
VoiceOver, head, VoiceOver, switch button. VoiceOver speaks items on bullet tap once to select, bullet double tap to learn more. Link, what's new in VoiceOver adjusts the speaking rate of the primary voice. Speech button. Braille button.
And it will read them. To select an item, click twice
Match
on the
input and
button.
output tables. Switch button. Off. Tip. Close. Launch app. Braille. VoiceOver. Back. VoiceOver. Back button.
And this is how it works. You can also practice VoiceOver when enabling it, and
VoiceOver
it has
recognition button.
many different settings.
VoiceOver. VoiceOver. VoiceOver off.
You can, in the VoiceOver settings, you can go to speech to set the speech. You can go to Braille, so it will give you the Braille output for VoiceOver, and it has many different other settings. Then when you go back to the accessibility settings, you can go to zoom. So you can enable zoom, and then moving with 3 fingers across the screen will move the zoom to a different place, so you can see the elements larger and closer. When you double tap, you'll disable or enable zoom. And when you double tap with 3 fingers and drag, you'll change the zoom like that. So it gets elements closer or not. You can change the maximum zoom level and many other things. Then when you go back, you can go to display and text size, and here you have different settings like bold text. When you enable it, then the font on your iPhone will be bold. You can go to larger text, and when you enable it, then you'll have an option to set your text size really large, like that. Then you can go to button shapes, and when you enable it, then every button, like the back button, will be underscored, so you'll be sure that it's a button. You can go to on/off labels, and when you enable it, then all of the toggle buttons will have labels that will say whether it's on or off. Then you can go to reduce transparency, so it will improve contrast. You can go to increase contrast, and it will also increase color contrast. Differentiate without color can be enabled. You can also enable prefer horizontal text in languages that support vertical text. Then smart invert, and it's gonna invert the colors on your screen. Also classic invert is available. Then color filters, and this may help with color blindness when you enable the color filter, and you can set it to grayscale. Red/green filter, which is helpful with protanopia, red and green filter for deuteranopia, and blue/yellow filter for tritanopia. And you can also set a color tint. And for all of these, you can select the intensity of the filter. And for color tint, you can also select the hue. And here you can see how these colors look. And then you can go back. You can reduce white point to reduce the intensity of bright colors. And you can enable or disable auto brightness on your iPhone. Then you can go to motion and you can reduce motion. So as you can see, for example, when I go to open apps, there is no animation. You can enable prefer crossfade transitions. You can go to show vehicle motion cues, and that option will help you with motions with car sickness. And when you enable it, it will show 8 dots, and when you're moving your phone while driving, these dots will move and help you with car sickness. Then you can enable or disable dim flashing lights or strobing lights. Here the next options are autoplay animated images, video previews and message effects. So you can disable it to need to click on play to play them. Then you can enable prefer non-blinking cursor, and you can enable limit frame rate. Then there is spoken content, and when you enable it, then whenever you select text, there will be an option to read it out loud. And then audio descriptions, and when it's enabled, it will play audio descriptions when it's available. And these are the vision settings on iPhone 16 Pro Max.